The dark night of the soul is a spiritual passageway, a death of the self that you once were, a death of your former identity. I have long compared the dark night to the transformation from a caterpillar to a butterfly. The old self, the caterpillar, is dissolving into nothingness, what scientists call a mess of black goo. There is a war that goes on inside this metamorphosis, that inner struggle, that inner battle. It's between the old resistant cells that want everything to stay the same and the new imaginal cells whose purpose is to form the new life. For a time, the old resistant cells destroy the emerging imaginal cells. But then the imaginal cells begin to cluster and grow stronger, and they persevere. Eventually, the resistant cells lose the battle, and the imaginal cells go on to form the body of the butterfly, the new form, the new reality. As human beings, we get very attached to things staying the same, especially if we are comfortable. We hold on to the status quo and try to prevent it from being disrupted. We fear stepping outside of our comfort zone, that space that represents safety and familiarity. Even if what represents safety and familiarity isn't good, like an abusive or unhappy relationship, it's still what we know. You've heard the saying, the devil we know. This is what keeps us holding on to the status quo because we fear change. We fear transformation. Because with transformation, we're required to give up who we are so that we can become something new. If you're going through a dark night of the soul, you're inevitably going through a transformation, a metamorphosis, a death and rebirth process. And just knowing this can give you a sense of hope. You're not stuck here. You won't be in this place forever, even if it feels that way right now. In the 12-step programs, they say, trust the process. But I say, have faith in the process, because faith asks us to believe in the unseen and to have trust in the unknown. You know where you've been, but you don't know where you are going. So it can feel as if you're flying blind into the vast unknown. If you're going through narcissistic abuse, and the narcissist has gone from your life, off living a new life and leaving you in a dark and painful place, you may be feeling defeated, deflated, and broken. But I want to invite you to shift your perspective for a moment and ask yourself these questions. Who was the person who attracted the narcissistic relationship in the first place? Who was the person who was attractive to the narcissist and why? And who do you need to become to move beyond this crazy-making dynamic? I've worked with thousands of survivors of narcissistic abuse over the past 2 decades, and I can tell you that most people are attracted to the narcissist's false self. And this is really important to understand. You're not attracted to who they are, you're attracted to who they pretend to be and to who you imagined them to be. You were never drawn to who they really were because you couldn't see that person. He remained hidden. You saw the facade. You stepped into the imagined reality that person projected. You stepped into an imagined love story or some other type of story, but it was only ever a story. It wasn't real. When the bubble bursts and the illusion collapses, your reality collapses with it because you built your world around that story. In romantic relationships, the story typically begins as a great love story. The person you've waited for your entire life, your soulmate, the love of your life, has finally arrived. Then the mask begins to drop, and you get a glimpse of what's behind it. It's confusing because your mind and emotions have already aligned with the love story fantasy. The person who once got you better than anyone else starts to see you differently. You begin to experience attacks on your character, petty arguments, control dramas. You feel like you've failed somehow. Your happily ever after is beginning to fall apart or has already fallen apart. The life has been sucked out of your love story. When it finally ends, the mask is off. You see someone you don't recognize. That in itself is traumatic. Who was that masked man or woman? The narcissist may already be off creating a false love story with someone new, and it looks as real to you as yours once did. This can be confusing and horrifying because the collapse of your reality forces you to face the truth. The truth is, the love story wasn't real. It was an illusion. And now you're left sifting through the debris of a broken past. We often blame ourselves. We think, if only I had done something differently. But the truth is, there's nothing you could have done differently. With narcissistic abuse, all roads lead to the same place, the collapse of the illusion. You were trying to have a real relationship with a fake persona, and that can never work unless you completely erase yourself and become what they want you to be, a character in their play. If you have any authenticity left in you, you won't be able to do this, not for long. It would require the complete annihilation of the self. Some of you did this for a time, slowly giving up pieces of yourself just to remain in the illusion. And when it finally crumbles, you've given up so much that you no longer know who you are. Welcome to the dark night of the soul. Your soul is calling you home. But first, you must walk through the pain of self-denial, self-abandonment, and self-betrayal. All that you felt you had to do to keep the illusion intact. The dark night of the soul is time to reconnect with those alienated pieces and parts of yourself. It's a time to remember who you are, maybe for the first time. You are not and never were the illusion. You are real underneath it all. And now it's time to face the truth of who you are. During this dark night, you must become the flame walker. Stand in the fire of truth and let the illusions burn away. The illusion of love with the narcissist. The false belief in your own unworthiness. The false belief that you have failed. The false belief that you are not enough. And the false belief that you are unlovable. These are all lies. They are not truth. They are conditioned beliefs carried for much of your life. But now they've surfaced so strongly that you can't ignore them anymore. It's natural that you would attract the narcissist if you believed that you were unworthy and unlovable. How else could that person manipulate you? So this is your time to face the shadow, to face the false beliefs now rising to the surface. Ask yourself, what made me believe that I was never enough? What made me believe I wasn't worthy of love? Because this is a spiritual transformation. You must also confront your relationship with God, with the Creator, with your own divinity. Has God really abandoned you? Or did you abandon yourself and your own connection to a higher power for some false ideal of love? Did you trade true connection and love for a false self and a false love? And if so, why? Are you ready to let go of the person that you were, the one who didn't believe that she was worthy of love, care, and respect? Are you ready to let go of the version of you who didn't believe she was enough? Now is the time. It's time to confront yourself in the darkness. Release what no longer serves you and embrace who you truly are, your soul self, your true self, the one who knows she's worthy, who knows she doesn't have to earn love. As you begin sorting through the pieces in the dark, you find fragments that were never real. You identify the false beliefs, the lies you were told, and the lies you repeated to yourself. As you see through them, you begin to see the truth. You are so much more than you have ever known. The light is not out there somewhere. The light is within you. You are the light. Now it's time to remember yourself, to embrace yourself, to love yourself, to make yourself a priority, and to believe in yourself. You are not and have never been what others told you that you are. You are, underneath all the lies and distortions, who you've always known yourself to be. You are only ever stuck in the dark night when you refuse to face the shadow calling you to burn away the false self so the true self can be revealed. But even when you can't see it, there is movement happening within you. When you watch a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, it appears still from the outside, but the activity is deep within the chrysalis. This is a slow burn, a deep, patient process of transformation. Understanding this helps you navigate it with more grace and compassion for yourself. You are releasing the old form and donning a new one built of truth. Your false self once danced with the false self of the narcissist, and it was all illusion. But now you are learning to dance with your true self, the one underneath all the lies and distortions you've been programmed to believe. There is great beauty in the dark night of the soul. It's a time of deep reflection and reconnection with your true self and with God, however you see it. Embrace it fully. Get help and support if you need to. You don't have to walk this path alone. And stay plugged into this podcast because I am here to help you see how beautiful you really are. I'm here to help identify the lies and help you find the truth. I'm here to help midwife your rebirth. If you can't afford one-on-one guidance from me or anyone else, I'm preparing to launch a support group for narcissistic abuse recovery, where I'll help you to move through this difficult transition. You'll find the link in the show notes. I've gone through several dark nights of the soul myself, and I can tell you, I am more myself now than I've ever been. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Was it fun? Not at all. It was the most painful thing I've ever endured. But that pain became my purpose. It was worth the journey through the darkness to find the light within. I want to thank you so much for being with me, and much love to you. Take such good care of yourself, and remember, you're not broken. You're being reborn. I'll see you in the next episode of the Flame Walker podcast. Have a great day.